Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my small engine repair channel. In today's video we're going to look at this Yardworks electric push mower, and the issue we're having with it is that it runs but it won't shut itself down. So let's take a look at it, see if we can't figure it out. Alright guys, thanks for joining me on my channel. This electric mower, I basically got it for free. I might have gave $10 for it on a trade-in or something like that. I don't typically work on electric stuff, I'll be honest with you. I'm just strictly pretty much a gas and oil kind of guy. I'm not a big fan of electric mowers, but you know what? They have their purpose. Everybody has their own priorities, their own likes and dislikes about their personal lawn equipment. But for me, it's not really something I want to do towed around a cord. So anyways, I've had a few inquiries this spring about electric mowers. So I'm going to take a look at this one, see if we can't figure out why the thing won't shut down. So first thing we're going to do is show you what the problem is, and then I'm going to try and tackle what's going on with this thing. Alright, so I'm going to get in a cord here, and I'm going to plug this thing in, and you're going to see it's probably going to fire up right away. Alright, so as you can see, the thing will run as soon as I plug it in actually. And I just disconnected the power from the other end of the power cord. This button seems to be sticky, because normally with these things what you do is you push in this button, or you pull this handle down and then you push the button, and that gets the thing running. And then once you are finished, then you just let go of this handle. It's kind of like a regular lawnmower, and the thing should stop. So something's got to be going on with the electronics, or this push button or whatever is maybe stuck on the inside. It's stuck in the engaged position. So I'm going to open this thing up. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like Torx bits on the, or Torx bit screws on these. So I'm going to put you up on my lawnmower lift, and we'll try and get into this thing. Alright, so I was mistaken. There's 2 Phillips here and here that holds it to the handle. This part looks like there's like a hinge kind of thing here. So I think what I'm going to do, and there's a little bit of slack for this guy, I'm just going to remove these 2. They're actually, or I think they call them inverted Torx. I can't remember, but they've got a hole in the center here because there's a little pin in the middle there. So this one happens to be a T20. So just take these 2 guys off. Alright, I just got to be careful. I've never opened one of these up before, and it looks like there's a spring in here I have to be careful of. Let me show you the inside of this thing. So the push button over here is attached to that little white tab, and when you push it down, it's probably supposed to push on some sort of other contact, and the contact down here probably is stuck in the sort of engaged position. there is a spring right here that I have to be very careful of when I'm trying to take this thing apart so that thing doesn't go flying and I don't lose it. And also I figure out where it actually goes back in. So again, I'm not overly familiar. I haven't opened one of these up before, so I'm gonna be very careful. All right, so I'm just moving the handle up top. It's moving this whole assembly here. And I think that just kind of keeps it locked in place. Or nope, maybe not. I think this goes down and then this pushes it up. And it's supposed to engage on something maybe over here. It's probably this. Yeah, I bet you any money this red tab is supposed to go in and out and make an electrical contact. This is where all the wires are going in and out of. So I'm willing to bet that this is supposed to go in and out. So if I take this off, I can see some corrosion. That doesn't bode well. And that is, these are just screws, kind of like on a receptacle that's holding this white wire. So I don't think that necessarily is the problem. The problem, I think, is this push button thing here. Because the power comes in from the end of this cord. And from what I see, that's this one coming in. Then you got a white and a black, of course, comes to this side. And for this switch to kind of engage, it has to transfer the power from this side of this receptacle, or whatever this is, the switch, over to the other side. And then that's going to send that power down through this other cord down to the actual electric motor. And this obviously has made a permanent connection on the inside of this. And I think it's because, and I'm hoping anyways, that's because this thing is just stuck in the engaged position. It's probably rusted in there, and maybe I can work this free and get it to the point where it actually will come out again. Because as you can see, it looks to me like there's room for this, for this red tab to actually go out this way and disengage. So I'm going to work on this a little bit, and I'm going to report back when I figure out if this is salvageable or not. I don't know how much this little piece costs to replace. It's probably going to be cost prohibitive because I might be able to get 80 bucks for this thing if I sell it. And I don't want to spend necessarily 40 bucks. Yeah, I might spend 40 bucks to make 80. You know, 40 bucks in my pocket. It's pretty simple. Just, you know, disconnect these 4 little screws, unwire it, and then just wire the new one in. It'd be pretty simple, actually. But I'm going to try and salvage this one first. Okay, so as you can see, guys, I have this thing plugged in, and it's still kind of apart. I just wanted to test this. And the fact that it's plugged in, I do have the power on the other end, and it's not running, is a good sign. I never recommend this because there is now currently electricity coming in at least to this side of this switch. So just be very careful with electricity, guys. I don't want anyone getting hurt or shocked. So what I'm going to do here is just try and engage this button to see if this mower is going to run. Alright, so it's running and shutting off the way it's supposed to. So what it ended up doing is this little red I'm just going to disconnect this so I don't hurt myself. So this, yeah, this red, this little red knob actually does pull off, and underneath there is a little assembly that goes up and down. And let's see if I can pull this off one-handed. I might have to put you down here for a second. Stand by. All right, so that's what it looks like without the knob on it. And this little plunger thing was stuck in the down position. It wasn't coming back up at all. So what I ended up doing was putting some dielectric grease. And this stuff's good for electrical connections and such. So I put some dielectric grease after I pulled it out with a pair of pliers as far as it would go. I put some dielectric grease down and underneath where this plunger is. I presume down there's some contacts, of course, electrical contacts, and there's obviously a spring that's supposed to come back out. Make it come back out so it shuts off when you take pressure off that red button. What applies the pressure to the red button, of course, is this little white plunger, which is going to need a little bit of grease too because it was sticking before. So I'll put some grease in there. See there, it kind of sticks depending on where you push on this little button on the back side. So I'll grease that up, but when you push on that and then you hold the handle down, that is going to activate this little, it's going to end up activating this little red switch or button, okay? And then as you saw when I was doing it manually, it doesn't seem to move very much, but it now is, you know, going in and out a little bit. So it might turn out that this is potentially going to fail again because it's obviously not correct, in which case I will try and get the part number off of this thing and see how much it is to order a new one. But I'm going to put it all back together. I'm going to test it, and then I'm going to cut my grass with it and see if I have any issues with it, and I'm going to make sure I turn it on and off a bunch of times. Okay, well, I got this thing plugged back in, and the power is going to the end of the cord here, so that's a good sign that it's not running on its own. And once again, to get these things to operate, most of them, you have to push this button in and then hold the handle down. And let's see if we can get this thing to fire up. Okay, so this I still need to maybe work on that a little bit so it goes a little bit freer, but seems to be working. Alright, so there you have it. So I am going to cut my grass with this thing, see how it does. So hopefully this video was informative for some of you guys, and just be careful please guys. Electricity It does. You have to make sure that you definitely give it its due respect, and please don't hurt yourselves working on these things. Make sure everything's unplugged and you're safe. Okay. So again, if you like the video, please show me a little love. Smash the like button down below, and if you're not a subscriber already, please consider doing so. Definitely really helps me out on the channel. If you have any other further questions on this particular mower, go ahead and leave your comments down below. So until our next project, take care.